Today on the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, we are discussing this new movie. You may have heard about it. It's called Spider-Man No Way Home. We finally got it. It's here. It's the greatest movie of all time. All that and more over this side we have no control over.
Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. My name is Matthew Carroll.
Jeff Randall, sorry. And I'm Jeff Randall.
And in our producer chair today, we have the lovely Ashley Coffin. How you doing, Ash?
I'm happy.
I am so happy too. So excited. Well, let's just first off let's do a 30-second non-spoiler review. I think we already did, right? Like, it's just so freaking good, guys. It's so good.
Best Spider-Man movie. It's now in my top 8. And I will say none of the other Spider-Mans were in my, top 10's too hard, but I have, a solid top 8, and that just destroyed it.
Yeah. I'm with you. This is such a great film, and it does so much. If you've been watching Marvel movies for a long time like I have, this is such a wonderful, wonderful film, and you need to go see it. It is just freaking amazing. Highly, highly recommend.
It's the best movie. I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm putting it at the top. It is
over Endgame and Infinity War. Let's not get out of control.
For right this second, the hype level that I'm at is equal to Infinity War Endgame because it was so freaking good. There were so many moments where I was if you remember Endgame, I wept the whole time, straight through, front to back. This one, I was so overwhelmed. I couldn't even get the tears out. I was just, my mouth was agape the entire time. I was just, and there were some times where some yelling came out where we all cheered, the whole theater cheered, but that's all I got. That's all I had. I didn't have emotions, or rather I had emotions. I just had too many of them and they were all colliding.
Yeah. It's such a packed movie with so much it's trying to do, and it does it all so well and with such a beautifully crafted shorthand. You can stay with it emotionally and conceptually, and it just feels, the pacing feels right. And we've talked a lot on our Bingers Assemble series where we covered all the Spider-Man movies, which I'm so glad that we did, about how overstuffed some of those movies felt. The ones that fail because they're super overstuffed. And this was overstuffed as hell, and somehow this is more overstuffed than anything we've ever seen, except for maybe Endgame. And it still feels so fun and fast paced, and I don't know,
everything about it was perfect.
Flip, baby. I loved it.
They gave enough time to each character and made the story cohesively make sense, and that's what's most important. It's got that Marvel magic.
Yeah. And so many moments are perfect.
Wait, magic's real? Sorry.
So many moments in it are perfect comedy and tragedy at the same time. There's really amazing moments that are humorous, but also really, really heartfelt. They're hitting me in both at the same time. So if you're there for one or the other, if you're there for the serious character development, it's constantly happening, but it's also never stopping being fun. I think they did that well with Infinity War and Endgame, with the exception of a few moments that were just really, really sad. And this has its sad moments too, but man, I just never stopped having fun the whole time. Yeah. So good.
If you remember, Matt, you and I were, whenever we were doing the recap on The Amazing Spider-Man 2, you kept saying, who is this movie for?
Right.
That was the question, is who is this movie for? And with this one, there is no question. This movie is for the Marvel fans. All of the Marvel fans.
Particularly for Spider-Man fans, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's crazy, man. Okay, let's get into spoilers because I can't contain myself
I don't have anything else to say. Yeah, that's not about spoilers.
I can't even. Spoiler alert. Let's do a classic. Jeff, give us the spoiler in 3, 2, 1.
We got everything we wanted.
Yeah, we did.
We got literally everything we asked for.
Wanted.
It came at a cost. It came at a very high cost that I was not ready to pay.
Yeah.
But we got everything we wanted. We have all 3 Spider-Men. Tobey was back. Andrew Garfield was back and better than ever.
Can we talk about that? Let's give him so much credit. That's the best I've seen from him as Spider-Man.
I enjoyed him so much. And he does get a chance in this one to like let go of all the heaviness that he had in his Amazing Spider-Man outings. There's still emotional moments with him when he catches MJ.
I know.
Oh God.
He says, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." "Are you okay?" Like that's one of the moments I think of, like, because it's perfect emotional like payoff for his character, for a 2-movie arc of his character, and then it's a perfect comedy moment for MJ. It's like, why is this middle-aged man crying while he catches me? I don't understand what's happening. It's like really great, and those 2 different perspectives make it so funny, but also so heartfelt and touching. Oh,
and so touching.
When they were having that conversation between the 3 of them, where they're telling Andrew Garfield that, no, you're amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
It was so meta of them.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
He knows what people thought about his movie.
Right. Well, the fact that actually he said amazing over and over. No, you are amazing. You are amazing.
Yeah, I needed to hear that. Yeah.
It's so good.
No, can I hear you say it? No, I just really need to hear it.
Of course, I'm Spider-Man 3. Like, I get it. I'm Spider-Man 3.
He didn't have the alien villains. He was like, I just had some guy in a rhino suit. And you guys had like aliens.
You got the web coming out of your wrist. I had like a rhino suit guy. Like, no, I'm lame.
Just like the direct comparisons between them. And like, I mean, even just the scenes where they enter the film with Ned and MJ sling-ringing them over to the house and like getting the chance to like, I don't know, engage with them. Like, it just it's so funny when they're asking him to like crawl over and get the cobwebs and you just crawl around a little bit. Like,
crawl around? No.
Just throwing bread at him?
No, you don't have the tingle thing? Yeah, I've got the tingle thing, just not for bread.
Stop throwing bread at me.
And she chucks so many rolls at his chest.
I knew that Sony was setting something up here, and like I knew that by doing this movie, they were allowing themselves to have a multiverse of Sony movies while still having Spider-Man be in the MCU. Like they now have a multiverse to play with, which is amazing.
Yep. Right.
But like, I did not expect myself to leave the theater being like, I want an Andrew Garfield movie. Like, I really want a third Andrew Garfield movie so
like,
bad.
Give me back Andrew Garfield as elderly Spider-Man now.
Yeah.
Or not elderly, but, older Spider-Man.
When we called a lot in our Bingers Assemble reviews of the movies, we called a lot about like sort of the difference between these characters. And they have those conversations like, do you have someone? And it's what I didn't expect is like, we talked a lot about how like, these Spider-Men would be mentors for Peter, but what I didn't really expect is like how much they would like encourage each other and be brothers. Like they all like were trying to encourage each other. Oh,
he's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to like tell you guys what to do, but I was an Avenger, and they're like, what's that? What do you mean?
Oh God, when Tobey
you guys don't know how to be on a team?
When Tobey was like, that's awesome. What is that?
Were you in a band? That was actually one of my least favorite lines in the movie because I thought it was a little too silly for the moment. Like everything's about to die, and he's like, "Wait, are you in a band?" Like that was funny, but it's a little too far, almost.
Yeah,
almost. I feel like it's still a solid Spidey line.
Yeah,
because like he quips. Like, did you notice like when Garfield, when they all jumped out to like lead the guy around, immediately first thing is that Andrew Garfield Spidey leapt out and just started immediately berating Max. Just like, hey Max, been a while, haven't seen you in a bit, and like swings off. Like it was perfect. It was perfect. Like even I got the things out of Andrew Garfield that I liked about Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and then he got better somehow. And then I got the awkwardness out of Tobey that I loved about Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And then he got better. And and Tom Holland just continued to be like to show so much depth so much range. So, God, the rage that he felt at Green Goblin as he was beating the ever-living shit out of him. Like, you could tell that it was just visceral rage. They did it so well with the choreography. Like, normally, Spider-Man is like, web, jump, flip, leap, waha, quip, whatever. No, not this one. Not this one. He got down and dirty on it, like bashing him in the face, webbing his shoulders and like pulling him down so that he could knee him in the face. Like, oh my God, it was so brutal. That was the most brutal Spider-Man I've ever seen.
Yeah, Tobey's pretty brutal. Tobey has these times throughout all three of those movies where, especially the first one, where they just...
Him and Goblin have it out pretty hard in the... That weird abandoned house in the first one. And we were talking a lot about the Spider-Man, which is deserved and obviously why we're all here. But like, man, the villains.
Do we just start with one and move through them? I don't know. I don't even know how to do this.
I don't know. This is our instant reaction. It's going to go where it's going to go. But I just got to throw out Willem Dafoe. Ken, when he took off, Ken slow clapped, and I was like, "Look at you!" Everybody started clapping because we're such big fans of him, and he just was him again. He was even doing the same exact mannerisms, like when he switched over to Goblin, he would do that eye squint thing when you knew he was Goblin, and you're like, damn it, I just won all of this. Well, and me on Bingers Assemble, like we talked about what would we want from each of these characters if they got brought in. And like, I think we're going to have to do another episode where we go ahead and talk about what they did, because like we got so many things we wanted. Like one of the things I talked about Doc Ock and wanting the inhibitor chip to be a like important part of the thing. And it was, and like we talked about how
we said we wanted to team up. We wanted him to help. We got that.
Yep. We got that. We talked about how much we wanted Green Goblin to have that sense of the double personality that he had, because that's something that I didn't even really remember when looking back on those movies, but rewatching them, I was like, oh, this is such a huge part of his character. It's clear that they really were writing a love letter to those actual movies, not just being like, let's grab a Green Goblin and make him look similar. Like those were the characters from those movies, and they are just wonderful, just absolutely wonderful.
They did such a great job of updating that character for this verse. Like they updated his wardrobe in a way that like made so much sense.
Oh yeah.
And it was like that purple hood and cloak from it being a sweatshirt, like a hoodie.
Yep.
And like having it be all ripped up and look just like the freaking comics. Like, oh my God, it was so good.
That was one thing I said I needed, was for them to update his outfit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they did it, but in like such a fun, like he's a homeless guy way. Like literally he's wearing homeless shelter clothes, and then like they get ripped up and torn, and he just becomes that version, and it's wonderful, man. I can't even. Good. It's so good.
There was one kind of goofy part that I said out loud, like that's all it took, when he was like hiding the glider and the helmet was hanging up on the corner of the dumpster, and he was like, leave me alone. Like he took a rock and smashed the helmet apart with one hit.
Well, he's super strong.
But a rock though. A rock in New York. I don't know. I was like, that's all it took? Like, Spider-Man should have broken his helmet like so many times.
They were fixing a problem from the first movie, where they put such an amazing facial actor behind that mask.
Yep.
Like, you can kind of see him, but you can't. So I really appreciated them breaking that. Like, I just was like, were they listening to us? Like, did they read?
Yeah. Like, I briefly considered, like, making the opener of this podcast episode something along the lines of like, we wrote the best movie ever, you guys. Like, because it kind of felt like we wrote it.
It was very.
We saw so many things where we were like, called it. We called it.
Even back at the trailer when you were like, oh, he's going to be looking in on Mary Jane and she's not going to know who he is.
Yeah. No, that wasn't even a trailer. That was a behind the scenes photo.
Don't look at those anymore.
Okay.
We were like, that seems like that One More Day thing where he doesn't know who she is. And sure enough, that's exactly what it was.
Or she doesn't know who he is, and he has a piece of paper. I was saying that the piece of paper was like an address or something, so I was wrong on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, we call it a lot of things, but like the way they constructed this movie to make it still have good pacing and like, I don't know, like there's things I just didn't know I needed to see that were amazing in this movie beyond, but like going back before the multiverse stuff even cracks open, like his teachers responding to him being Spider-Man. That was so funny. So good.
JB Smooth and Hannibal Buress, they were so funny.
JB Smooth, Hannibal Buress, and that other guy. They're all three so good, and given those three great comic actors like the chance to like.
And I was like, I know what you did.
I know what you did.
Crawl around here, swing around here. I know what you did, Spider-Man. Like it's just
it's like don't feel free to like crawl, to get to avoid people.
We all know you can do it.
We all know you can do it. And the one teacher was like, some of the students kind of put this together. It's like, no, you made that. It's like, yeah, I supervised and may have had some help.
Yeah,
I may have directed.
That scene was wonderful. Like, even just like the little moments of like Ned needing to like be involved in their relationship and feeling like a third wheel a little bit. Not really him feeling like a third wheel.
I don't think he felt it. Yeah,
agreed. Us seeing that third wheel nature that's kind of developing. Like that's the thing you didn't need to make this movie complete. But like, there's just really great character moments that they're sort of building this world up, and it's like, I don't know. It just feels real. It feels lived in. It feels fully realized. It doesn't feel like a movie like this, which not that there's ever been a movie like this. How in the world this is the only, I mean, we've talked about how Marvel is making movies that are like a cut above the rest and like combining a bunch of different plot lines to come together to make things like Avengers movies and Endgame and all these things. But like, no one has ever made a series of things and then brought all the universes of that thing together to make a finale for all the universes prior that didn't get good endings. Like,
yeah.
This is just an insane thing.
This is a movie 20 years in the making.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. Like, you give yourself enough time, you can get it right.
Yeah. What did you guys think about Doctor Strange? I thought he was off in that, and you saw MJ found that box of hair dye, black hair dye down in the cellar.
I didn't catch that. Ooh. That was for him.
Yeah, I thought that was very weird.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
His hair looked a little blacker. It was just, I don't know. There was just something off about him the whole movie. Maybe he has his own PTSD going on. Maybe he feels responsible. Maybe he's upset he's not the Sorcerer Supreme. I don't know, but he just seemed off.
Well,
I don't know. I didn't think about that.
The trailer.
Let's talk about that at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's save that baby.
So somehow a gigantic revelation that was kept pretty well from me and Matt, but sorry, Ashley. But it's a gigantic revelation that is somehow not the biggest deal in this movie. We got Charlie Cox back.
Yeah.
I know.
Guys, we are sitting here on such a wealth of good stuff that we've been talking for like 15 minutes and haven't mentioned that fucking Daredevil's back. Like,
I was waiting for a big moment and you shifted right in the middle of the Doctor Strange talk. Sorry. I lost my goddamn mind.
Right?
I kind of knew. Thanks, Gregory, on the listen. No more spoiler. Like, guys on the we love our chat page. If you post spoilers, you spoil it for us, and we're the ones doing this for you guys. Please be more careful.
We have to moderate.
That got spoiled. It spoiled for me, Melissa, and Brian. And yeah, just
that's a bummer.
It did not cancel out my excitement for it, though.
Right.
I screamed.
Even though it didn't cancel Ashley's excitement, don't you fucking do it again.
Don't you do it again, or you're out. But he was just, oh God, I love him so much. I just can't.
He's great. I do think they kind of, that part felt very sandwiched into the movie because his legal troubles just sort of disappear.
Well, I mean, when you have such a good lawyer on your side.
Well, he went right to Doctor Strange from there, I thought.
Well, no, there's the whole thing about school and MIT and all that stuff is when he went to Doctor Strange.
That's the thing that was so great with having Charlie Cox, Daredevil, Matt Murdock, whatever you want to call him, there for is like, yeah, the legal troubles went away, but he even said outright, like, you're still going to have the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
So like you may be out of the legal
Sure.
troubled waters, but like that's honestly probably not going to be the worst part.
I guess he took care of it. I guess that's why he kept being like, you need a really good lawyer. I'm a really good lawyer. Maybe we were supposed to think that he kind of took care of it.
Yeah.
Because it is weird that it was just quick and he was gone.
No, it's totally...
I need him and everything.
It felt like that's my point, is that it felt very contrived. It felt almost like they included the entire legal trouble as an excuse to put Matt Murdock in the movie.
It's fine.
It doesn't really affect anything after that moment. That there's just like legal trouble all of a sudden.
You know what it felt like though with that? Like just kind of like, I don't want to say shoehorning a character in, but like having a character show up just to do their one task and then leaving, it felt like a comic book.
For sure.
It really did.
It does.
It felt exactly like a comic book.
It does. And I want now, after seeing that scene, and so oftentimes when a hero is in their secret identity and they do something crazy like catch a brick even though they're blind, they then go, oh, it's not, sorry, nothing. And then the other characters don't pay attention to it. Like,
yeah, just got lucky, I guess.
Spider-Man looked at him and was like, how did you do that? Which means to me that Spider-Man knows something is up with that guy. Yeah. So like now that Spider-Man needs somewhere to go in the next movie, he knows nobody, and like he needs to find somebody to help him. He might turn to that lawyer again who seems to have superpowers, you know?
He needs mentoring in how to be a masked vigilante who does not reveal their identity.
Yeah. Or they can switch each other's identity back and forth like they did with Iron Fist in the comics.
Yeah,
so one can be there and one can not be there.
Oh my God, yes.
And now that like thinking about it, there was totally a reason they gave us 2 Hawkeye episodes in one, so they could release that Fisk one right before this, because all of that stuff has got to tie into each other. And I don't know if we're getting it in a TV show. It's definitely going to be before the next Spider-Man movie. I can tell you that.
Oh God.
Oh, it's everything I've ever wanted.
But how long did this movie take? Just as like a day, basically, because they say 12 hours at one point.
That was how long Strange was falling.
Oh, okay.
It was a week after the events in London that his identity got outed, because it was the news report at the beginning said the attack in London last week, and then it was a little bit after that, because I think that was a school trip, if memory serves, where they were starting his senior year. And so it was a couple of months that he had to deal with being in the public eye like that.
Yeah, and we know that at some point there's also we take down these Halloween decorations.
Yeah, I told you to take down the Halloween
That's
decorations.
Right before he goes to see Doctor Strange. So it's sometime shortly, probably November. So I was just trying to time this to Hawkeye and see like how this relates to Hawkeye, because we know Hawkeye's like 3 days till Christmas or whatever, and this is way back. This is probably in November, I'm guessing. Yeah,
because Christmas music was definitely playing. At one point when he went through one of the malls or something, they were playing Christmas music.
Oh, fun. The moment when he went through the mall while tripping through the mirror dimension was so cool.
That was so cool. And I love that he figured it out with math.
Yes.
He's like, you know what's cooler than magic? Math. And I was like, yes.
No.
That is such a cheesy Spider-Man line, and I freaking love it. Oh, I love it.
And Ken was disappointed in Doctor Strange. It's just like they have him be so powerful sometimes, and then sometimes it's just muted. It's like his powers come and go depending on where we are in the story.
Yeah. I felt like he was trying to pull his punches on Peter.
Well,
and I think,
of course.
I think with Peter, he was like, it's like he was trying to scare Peter into just kind of giving up and accepting that like Strange is way more powerful than him, like sending him into the mirror dimension and then being like, breaking the world around him. And he's like, what the hell is going on? Like basically just trying to break his spirit in that fight. But then Peter figured it out. It's just math.
Yeah.
So cool.
Which is so great.
So cool, because he probably in some ways understands the mirror dimension more than Strange does, because like he understood the patterns that it was working in. He's like, this isn't magic, this is somehow math, which goes so well with everything we know about the dimensional travel and the way they're using it as magic. It's all science, so it's like whatever's happening there, it's a mathematical equation that is creating the Mirrorverse, and he figured it out, and that's so fun, and it's so Spider-Man.
It's all patterns and geometry.
I'm really good at geometry.
I liked when they were all being science bros in the lab.
Oh my God,
So much fun.
And the one part I keep going back to in my head is when Ned was like, Peter, and they all like, huh? And he's like, no, Peter, and nope, still all of us. Peter Parker, nope, still everybody here. And then he's like, the computer. Oh, right, okay.
Peter.
It's so good.
I think my favorite moment still is Peter 3. I get it. I delay that moment so much.
Like he was arguing with Toby at like right before that, just like, I'm not Peter 2. And
He's like, everybody listen to Peter 1. What?
yeah.
Yeah, I love that Tom Holland proclaims himself Peter 1. It's like, and then they're like, okay, fine. And then I think he points to Toby and says, okay, Peter 2. And then he goes, yeah, Peter 3.
Yeah, Peter 3.
Fine. You're all in agreement. I'm Peter 3. I am also in agreement.
I thought they did such a good job with Lizard too. He looked really good. Kirk Connors looked amazing, and they got Thomas Church back. Everybody up.
Yeah, I couldn't believe Thomas Hayden Church was in there.
Still wearing that same dumb shirt. Sorry.
Yep, you hate that shirt. You hate that shirt.
I love though that they didn't like put him back in the shirt until like way at the end of him being in there.
I was surprised. They
Like,
really
most
did
of the
hold back.
time oh my God, I just remembered when he sat on the sofa and was like, oops, sorry. Brushes off the sand.
But it brushes it, but more hand keeps getting put there because his hand is made of sand. I really wanted Happy to be on the phone. Like, was that guy made of mud? Keep him off my couch or something like that.
Keep him off the couch.
Happy. Peter, I see a lot of people going through the house on my doorbell cam. What's going on?
Did you bring a
cyborg in there with robot legs?
And I really liked it when all the villains were like getting along and talking and like helping each other. I was like, this is really cute.
It was so wholesome for like 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
When Jamie Foxx saw the arc. Tony Stark, the arc.
Yeah, you knew it was he was going to be one of the ones that resisted.
And it makes sense for why he has the yellow power. Like, I love that they didn't do it right away.
Yeah, he was blue at first, and like, and Peter tried to do the thing, and it went through him. And Ned's like, "Can you ask Peter if this is a tree man?" It's just a tree, man.
It's just a tree.
It's just a tree.
Speaking of the arc reactor, Alfred Molina getting the payoff, so many payoffs here of him getting the inhibitor chip back, getting to be the good guy, getting to talk to Peter and like act as his mentor again in a way, like checking in with each other. Like, it was just so nice. But then him holding the arc reactor and being like, power of the sun. And Tom Holland's like, in the palm of your hand. Like, it just,
No, it's gold.
It was gold. Yep. It was absolute gold.
I loved the entrance of Doc Ock. I thought that fight was badass.
It was.
Just while trying to save that lady.
Yeah.
All while trying to save that lady. And she like didn't understand that he was a hero.
I did not. Like, I remember calling from the trailer. I was like, he has nanotech. He's pulling it off Peter. Did I think that Peter was going to take control of that the way he did? No.
Nope.
Did the entire audience cheer? Yes.
Oh, yes.
We were losing our goddamn minds. He's like, It was like an iPhone. It's like Bluetooth. It was awesome.
Yeah.
New device pairing. When you look for a device on your phone called My Car.
Look for a device called Doc Ock's arms. Man, like, what the... So good.
Oh, God.
It's nothing but great, guys. There's just nothing but goodness
great about
in this movie.
film. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm not even talking about how great, like, the scenes and the emotional arcs are. Just like when we get to a scene, I'm like, oh yeah, there was another funny line in that scene. Like in that right before the Doc Ock part, when Peter's running through on the bridge with all the cars in gridlock, and he stops for a moment, like pulls his suit down, straightens everything out, like, okay, calm, collected, like he's about to walk into her office. But then he walks up to her car door, and it's like, tap, 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 tap. Hi, ma'am. She's like, you're on the street, right?
Yeah, what else was he supposed to do?
Also, that suit was so wrinkled. I felt so bad for Peter.
It looked like the one he wore to that premiere the other day. All of us ladies we were looking at the pictures because Zendaya looked like a queen, and we're like, look at that wrinkled suit, Peter. Now I think it was just that suit. That's adorable.
He just kept it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are suits you want to grab from the set, and there are suits you don't. And that's one of the ones you don't, Peter.
Yeah. And his shirt under it was also extremely wrinkled. Like,
oh, yeah.
to hell and back.
That's so funny. So silly.
It was so good.
Okay, so we talked a little about Alfred Molina, and we talked about Connors. I thought for a long time they were going to have Connors talk, and I thought the one thing that I found a little odd about this movie is that I can't tell. It seems like they're saying these people basically jumped out of their bodies shortly before we last saw them. Like all of the bad guys jumped out shortly before their last battle sequence with Spider-Man. And the Spider-Men didn't seem like much had happened in their universe since.
Yeah, it looked like they got them from different points in their timelines in the other...
Right.
Like, they got the villains earlier in the timeline, and then the heroes later.
Basically, it seemed like we got them all shortly around when we last saw them, basically. Which is convenient for us as people who've watched these movies, but I found it kind of annoying from especially Toby. Like, I think Maguire... same person. I think Garfunkel could play...
Garfunkel.
You know what? He's earned it. Garfield. He's finally earned it. I'm going to stop calling him Garfunkel.
I'm going to try my best to stop. Peter 3.
He's still Peter 3, but that doesn't... Embracing the fact that he's Peter 3 endears him to me so much. Yeah, it's so funny.
The whole part.
What actor comes back for that role to be like, right, I know my movies kind of sucked, everybody. I'm here to redeem myself. Like, that's so good.
I think that's what I loved about it the most. Not only did he know that's why he was being brought back, he doubled down on it, and he was perfect. He made me really upset too. Like when he was talking about like what happened to him, we kind of talked about how we thought that he would explain like, you know, how he lost his person and he was loner. I thought he was going to be a lot sadder than that. I'm kind of glad that they didn't do that. Like, I thought he was going to be the angry, broody Spider-Man.
No, yeah, but instead he's like, I try to still be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
But then he's like, I got all ragey, and I was like, I would stand in line to see that movie, Peter 3.
It's something Fox always talks about on superhero ethics, the like idea that you need your people around you. They're the ones that keep you grounded. You know, they're the ones that keep that moral center like still around.
Yeah.
And like, so a lot of times when people in these shows decide to ignore their friends and family or like try to go without their friends and family, they turn into darker versions of themselves.
Right.
And I think that's fairly true in life. Like we all kind of, when we don't have people around us giving us moral clarity, which we haven't brought it up yet, but
I know I've been dancing around it.
I don't want to.
There's a lot of discussion about moral clarity. I can't believe we finally got our Uncle Ben moment, and it was Aunt May.
When she said with great power, I was like, uh-oh.
Of course. I knew it.
She got like shit stomped moments before that.
As soon as the glider was behind her, I was like, they're going to Uncle Ben her. She's Uncle Ben. That's it. This is the moment. Like I knew it as soon as he lined that glider up behind her. I was like, this is it. She's Uncle Ben. She's going to say the line. And then, because that's the whole point of this movie, was that she's trying to impart to Peter that like, you have this responsibility, even the bad guys, even the villains, you have a responsibility to help people. Because the more people you help, that goes on and helps more people. Help somebody, you help everybody, it says on her gravestone. Like, it's so, we've seen the Uncle Ben moment so many times in movies, but this time we got an Aunt May that
it really actually meant something.
Well, it's been 3 movies
faking
with
us
her.
out with it too was really not nice.
What do you mean?
Because she was up, she was talking, she was fine. She got railed by that thing, and then she got up on her own.
Yeah.
And then went over to Peter, and they like for a good 5 minutes she was okay. She said the line.
And then she said, I just need to catch my breath.
And I was like, no. And she had blood on her hand. And I was like, how are you going to do that?
It was really
How are you
hard.
going to mess with like just play with our emotions like that? It did exactly what it was supposed to. And it was really hard. It was hard.
Really hard to watch. But the thing is, like, we've seen that Uncle Ben moment so many times in cartoons and comics, 2 Spider-Man series, and they never showed it to us here. And it's because they wanted to give us that Uncle Ben moment that would really hurt us. And it really hurt because we knew Aunt May. She's been in what, 4 or 5 movies?
All of them, right?
She wasn't in Infinity War or Endgame, I don't believe. So she's been in the 3 Spider-Mans.
Well, she was at the end of Endgame. She was at the funeral.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So she has been in all 5 movies he's been in. And that's, I cared a lot about her, and to see her go and leave him alone, like really alone. At the end of his movies, he is super alone when he goes to have that apartment, and that makes me so sad for Peter.
He looked content, though, in a way that made me feel comforted.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. They did such a good job with that last scene. And then it reminded me of Toby listening to the police scanners.
Oh, yeah.
It was just that last scene was really beautiful. With his GED book, and you just know he's so much smarter than that.
Yeah.
Right.
That choice that he had to make, though, where he saw his friends got into MIT and he saw that, she had the
scratch,
battle damage, the scratch on her head, and the Band-Aid. And he was like, that was because of me. This sort of thing is not going to happen to her if she doesn't know me. I have the best way that I can save her is to not have anything to do with her. And it is just soul crushing to see that happen.
I have questions. I didn't realize that people were going to still remember Spider-Man. So that actually makes it a lot easier for him to talk to people about who he is, I would think. Because she even still had the necklace on and stuff. Like, I wonder if she's like, where did this come from? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Black Dahlia necklace.
The broken necklace. And they all had those experiences with Spider-Man
Yeah.
So if they remember Spider-Man, they remember Spider-Man.
And
I don't know. I didn't think that's how it was going to go. So it's like if he goes to Doctor Strange and is like, I'm Spider-Man, he's going to know who Spider-Man is. Because the world still knew who Spider-Man was.
Right. It is a little confusing. Like, what did people forget? It seems like he asked him at the end, what if they just forget me? And it's like different than just forgetting that he's Spider-Man. Like, none of these people remember him, period. So, like, Peter Parker doesn't exist in this world. Right.
But Spider-Man, like, the fact that Spider-Man does, at least that leaves a doorway for him to interact with these characters,
Yeah, so, like, he can go to Doctor Strange in, Spidey outfit.
Yeah, and be like, you did this. Or he could even be like Peter. The way I said that this should have been handled from day one, but we wouldn't have a movie.
Yeah. Like,
just go tell everybody.
Do the spell. I'm going to go tell my friends, in a minute.
Yeah. I would have given them all letters.
I'm glad, though, that we got some sort of, like, real, how to put it? Not resolution, but, like, a decent way for the spell to be affected that's not, like, just kind of a cop-out. Like, Strange was actively trying to help him. He's just like, okay, yeah, cool, I can add that in, I guess. Let me add in one more line. I guess, let me add in one more line. What's a Ned? Like... And, he's trying to be accommodating, this is a guy that he just saved the universe, half the universe with. And, is a friend that needs help. So he's like, sure, I got you. And tries to add on a little more. And it's that arrogance of Strange that was the downfall of the multiverse from the look of it. Or if it's not Doctor Strange.
Do you know the only thing that made me think it kind of was him is when he finally was the Doctor Strange that we all love in the moment where he tears up and he's like, the people who love you and care about you, we care about you, we're going to forget you.
He included himself in that, and I was like, oh, I love him too.
Yeah. And I was like, where have you been this entire movie?
Yeah.
Steven.
And he, like, when he came back, he was like, I'm actually proud of you. Like, I'm very surprised that you were able to do this for all of these people. Like, that's all I wanted to hear, Dad, is that you're proud of me.
Loki would have been happy he had a little revenge because he was only falling for 30 minutes, but Strange was falling for 12 hours.
I love that the other cuts were like, whoa. You went to the Grand Canyon? We could have used you here.
Yeah. He could have used your help.
Yeah. God, this movie was so good. I'm so happy I have tickets to go see it tomorrow.
I actually messaged Jeff today and I was like, you guys think that they're really going to change Lady Liberty from a female to Captain America? She definitely just has a shield.
Oh, did you? Nice.
I did.
Good call. I remember seeing like something that looked like a shield out from under that tarp in the trailer, and I was like,
right. And I was like, there's no way they're going to change Lady Liberty into Captain America.
Yeah, nope. Yeah. You were correct.
Which it looks like they're not going to. I was like, let's not finish that now that you knocked that monstrosity off because it didn't look cute.
Yeah, it didn't look great.
I didn't like it.
I was not a fan. The shield looked a little wrong. It
was weird.
It just it looked too clunky to be Cap's shield.
Yeah, it looked a little more John Walker shield.
Yeah, right. It looked like John Walker went up there and was like, all right.
Tink, tink, tink.
Tink, tink, tink.
Can we discuss how Spider-Man almost John Walkered the Green Goblin?
Until Toby stared him down.
Listen, I thought they were really going to kill Toby off. I thought they were going to kill him. I screamed. I was like, oh no. Well, the whole time I'm like, don't turn your back on him. What are you doing? Look behind you. Mm-hmm. No, Jesus. I was so mad. Like, it's a classic movie. You got to look down. They're never, he was, sorry. I was so mad.
No, I'm with you. It was silly to take your eyes off Norman at that moment. Ugh.
When you knew he had the spikes.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny though that like when Garfield's picking him up, he's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "No, I'm fine. I've been stabbed before." Oh, good. Oh, good. You've been stabbed before. Great.
Yeah.
So good.
And then when he's like, "You're in so much. I'm in so much pain." I never ever thought that like multiple Spider-Men all being quippy, all being fun on the same screen with so many characters in it would work. And oh my God, it knocked it straight out of the park.
It totally worked. Golly.
This was Marvel delivering on a level hitherto unseen.
Yeah, it's hard because like you mentioned earlier, you think this is maybe your top, and like I think it's damn close, but man, it's so hard to think about. Like Endgame is such an accomplishment. Infinity War is such an accomplishment. It's hard to say it's better than those, but like it's
right there. It's
maybe more fun. It's more fun than those. Like it's still heartfelt, but like just rewatchability. This might have more rewatchability than any of those. Like there's so many funny and fun scenes in this, whereas Endgame has long slogs,
I like Infinity War better than Endgame, and I just feel like that pace is just, but I like that dark, I love all that, there's different, you can tell personalities by your favorite movies, It's still got the funny, but that's definitely one of the more darker, and I really loved everything they did there. And for how long that movie was, it goes like this.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. I think that Infinity War is a better movie, like a better standalone film, but I like Endgame more just for it being such an accomplishment.
Right.
And I the more I think about it, this movie might beat Endgame. Like
nothing will beat everybody coming up to face Thanos and his army with Cap standing there with the broken shield. Like nothing will ever beat that scene for me. That is the greatest scene in all of Marvel MCU history as of now. That is the best scene. Yeah.
I
don't know though. 3 Spider-Men jumping off of the scaffolding and swinging together. Well,
it was awesome.
You just did the Raimi trilogy, right? Mm-hmm. And do you remember like that third one where Spidey was riding the glider was like the best. That was the best superhero fight sequence like ever of all time.
That's what you said. Yeah.
Right. When I saw those 3 Spider-Men swinging together and then he webbed the 2 of them and threw them and they kept swinging together like, I felt that excitement again. I felt that moment in the theater again.
Yeah.
Just like
the feeling of excitement.
Shit.
Yeah. I get it.
So freaking killer. Well, are there any like corners of this movie we haven't touched that we want to touch on? Because I know we're not going to get it all out today. We're going to have tons of feedback.
Post credits.
Ned using magic.
Yeah.
Ned swiping the thing and then making that joke at the end after Garfield was like, oh, my best friend died in my arms.
After trying to kill me.
Yeah, and then he's like, I won't turn into a villain, and try to kill you.
I promise not to turn into a villain and try to kill you.
But now he has forgotten that promise too. Like,
yeah.
Oh no.
As soon as like they forgot everything, I was like, he's definitely going to show up as Hobgoblin, right? Isn't he a Hobgoblin in comics?
He's Hobgoblin, yeah.
Yeah, he's Hobgoblin.
Does Hobgoblin use magic?
He throws flaming pumpkins.
Right.
It's kind of like a Mysterio type of thing where he's like a movie effects guy, but he's based on Green Goblin.
Right. I had in the back of my head somewhere that like he was a Green Goblin, but he also used magic, which like if Ned actually has magic powers, then like maybe that ties in. I don't know. I made him totally manufacturing that in my brain. I just thought he had other powers other than just the Green Goblin, like riding the glider thing.
No. Wong's the Sorcerer Supreme. That's interesting.
Right. Like while we're on the topic of sorcery.
Oh, yeah.
I love that Stranger's like, did you open a portal with the sling ring? And he's like, yeah. And he's like,
Yep.
And then walks away. Like he's going to remember that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
Or would have, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll remember any of it now. Like, I don't know what this spell forgetting Peter Parker, like what else do people forget?
That's what they remember Spider-Man. So they had to remember being there with all the Spider-Men.
Maybe.
I love that I can say Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Spooderman. The Spooderman.
Mm-hmm.
But then Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
Strange is bitter about that.
Let's talk about this post-credit sequence because...
Yes. I finally got the first look at my baby's movie.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
There's a voiceover of Wong telling Doctor Strange, like, you tried to do you sullied reality or something like that.
Yeah, he was like, there's consequences.
There's consequences for when you
did.
like for sullying reality. So
that was Mordo from the first movie.
That was Mordo.
That was Mordo from the first movie.
From the first movie. Interesting.
Yeah.
See his dreadlocks? He looks fantastic.
God, he looked amazing. He looked, I'm going to say, his outfit kind of looked like a Loki variant. Almost. Like with the green and some gold on it.
Yeah. I think they're just running out of colors.
It was a brief glimpse, and that's been his look, is green with gold, but...
He's totally not a Loki variant.
He's not a Loki variant, but he's dressed up. What if he's a follower of TVA Loki, and TVA Loki's like, can't mess with the sacred timeline?
No. Calling it now. I mean, maybe.
Too many sorcerers, too many TVA agents, too many variants.
Well, I love that we've been saying for so long we didn't know whether he was going after Wanda because of what she did or how they were going to meet up, and the fact that he was going to her for help. And it's like, she's technically the most powerful sorcerer on the planet.
Oh my God. And she looks so
And then she was like, doing her stuff. I was just like, I can't wait for this movie. And I could just like feel the tone of it. And like, this movie was made for me. By one of my favorite directors. And then you have evil Doctor Strange, like ripped right out of What If. And I love Benedict Cumberbatch. And I think we're going to get to see what I love so much about him with his acting and doing the Defoe thing, that two sides of the same person together in the same scene, and I just cannot wait.
Oh my God. When he said things got a little out of hand, I thought that he was going to do like the tentacle hands from What If.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going to lose it, but I still kind of lost it.
Are we thinking that's the same version?
I don't. I think it's a coincidence that happened like that.
I kind of want it to be.
I remember there was talk about people like Raimi. There was talk or rumors about them being upset that they even did that in What If because it was so close to what they were doing in Mom. But it was just a rumor that there was going to be a Dark Doctor Strange in Mom.
Sorry, Court OB just said in the chat, didn't we see some tentacles though? And that reminds me, we saw Shuma Gorath.
That eyeball thing?
Yes, the eyeball thing. Shuma Gorath was in the streets.
Shemagorth in the streets, Doctor Strange in the sheets. Oh.
No.
I'll take it.
Doctor Strange in the sheets.
Even better.
Even better, indeed.
He's the one you kick out and send home at 3 a.m. Bye.
If he doesn't leave before then.
Getting to see America Chavez was awesome. Getting to see everybody that's going to be in that movie. I'm so freaking pumped, guys.
Did you see how cool it all looked too? All like
God, it was so gorgeous.
the telescope looking or kaleidoscope looking things just look so amazing.
I'm sure they're going to drop that full trailer in a couple days on YouTube. So when they do, we'll do a hopefully by Monday. Maybe they'll have it dropped and we can do a reaction. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I know people I know somebody had put in the chat that there was a rumor that was going to be at the end, and I didn't really see that as a spoiler. I was actually more excited for that to be a fact, and I was like very excited.
I was a little surprised that it was actually a trailer.
Yeah.
They haven't done that since. What movie
Avengers.
did they do that in? Yeah, Avengers.
They did that in Cap 1 for the Avengers.
Yeah, that's right.
And they haven't done that since. And honestly, it fit with this movie because there was so much Doctor Strange. And we've seen. Okay, so those of us who pour over everything multiple times every week, those of us who still think that WandaVision is probably the best Disney Plus series that has come out this year. When we saw Wanda and we're like, oh shit, and they talked about Westview, we're like, oh shit.
And he's like, I don't give a shit about those people.
And he's like, I don't care about Westview. And we're like, oh shit, something bigger than that?
Yep.
And then Doctor Strange, from film goes to super dark looking dark dimension or mirror dimension, and things are going crazy. And we're like, man, we've seen this guy a lot in this movie. This is incredible. And then we see Dreadlock's Mordo, and then Shumagorath is in there, and then all of the things, and she does her. Seeing Wanda in the crown again.
Working with them,
my lord, on their side. Oh, it was an amazing thing to see, and
yeah.
I don't know that it would have been as good a trailer to see on YouTube.
Yeah, I agree.
It showing up in the theater like that was incredible.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
it was great.
It was perfect.
What about this other mid-credit sequence we got?
Poor Tom Hardy.
I love it
because he's out. He's out.
He's out. He's
He was in and then he was out.
I freaking loved the way they did this. Having this version of Venom, Tom Hardy's Venom, just spend the entire movie at a bar getting drunk. That is hilarious. We know that he flashed in. Yeah.
In Mexico.
He flashes in. He's
with
in
the hat.
At this resort. He flashes in at the end of Venom. And we're like, I thought for sure, there's no way they're not going to put him as a character. He's not going to be one of these people. And also, they had 5 villains. So I was like, surely there's a 6th coming. The Sinister Sixth, right? It's the whole thing. We're going to get to see 6 villains lined up against the heroes. That's got to happen. And then it didn't. He just stayed in Fiji or wherever. He's just hanging out. It was Mexico. No, man.
His hat said Mexico.
I didn't see it. He just stays in Mexico and is just getting drunk and asking about this universe the entire time.
Yeah.
So funny.
It was great.
So funny. And
so funny.
It implants the symbiote so that we can have...
So who's going to be... we get to recast Venom all over again.
Apparently. Unless they do a variant that looks the same as Tom Hardy.
Which I hope they do, to be honest.
Yeah, I would be down with that.
Spike493 brings up a really good point that I have been kind of wrestling with, is why did they bring in Venom? Why did Venom get pulled in? Because it was only supposed to be people who knew Spidey's identity.
I thought the hive mind might have known.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
They made a point to say that they were a hive that moved across the multiverse for a reason in Venom 2, which you didn't see. You wouldn't know that.
My bad.
Sorry. No, I mean, I'm just saying, that's the only reason why they made it very clear.
Right. It is still a little weird, but I agree. Yeah, I think that's exactly what, the Venom symbiote knows who's about. And actually, it ties into why he licks the screen and why he's saying, we should go see Spider-Man in New York.
Yeah.
I think that at least in comics or in versions of the story that I've seen, either in comics or cartoons or something, the Venom symbiote really likes being attached to Peter Parker because he likes the spider powers. Yeah, like it's just like Eddie is a good symbiotic relationship with the symbiote, but like Peter's an even better like symbiotic relationship. It's just that it messes up Peter's morality. So like Peter always sheds it and it goes on to Eddie. But like this one's a really so what I'm thinking is like when we see in Venom, when he pops over to the universe and sees a Peter Parker and a Spider-Man, he licks the screen because he's like, yeah, this is one of my favorites, you know, like I need to find this Spider-Man. And then maybe the symbiote itself like left a little bit of itself there on purpose and it's like on its way to go find Peter Parker.
Oh my God. And we get it like Spider-Man 3 the way it was always supposed to be with them.
We get a Spider-Man who has no moral barometer anymore because he has nobody in his life.
Yeah.
He's wrestling with that darkness.
Wrestling with the darkness he had for, like, you know, killing. Okay, here's another theory. This is another theory. If you
got one though.
Okay, you got another Venom theory. Go for it. This is unrelated.
Okay, this one is very related. So, Electro. When Electro was like, you got that nice face, and you're from Queens, and you help people. I thought you would be black. And he was like, somewhere out there's got to be a black Spider-Man. What if the symbiote gets attached to Peter Parker turns dark, and the one person that can bring him back is another Spider-Man, but it's Miles.
That'd be cool. I'd like that.
And Miles is the one that brings him back and be like, look, man, I'm here for you. And then we get like Spider-Man comic.
Yeah. I can't wait to see Miles Morales in this universe. The thing I was about to say is, so Norman Osborn disappeared for 12 hours or 6 hours or whatever.
However long it was.
If you're Norman Osborn, this version of Norman Osborn, a goblin-esque character, and you land in a universe where Oscorp doesn't exist, and what do you do for 6 hours? I would contend that you go and find the other Norman Osborn. And like maybe you get him like on a path to being the kind of person that you are. And I like seriously wouldn't be surprised if this Norman Osborn disappeared into the MCU and like went and like basically awakened another Norman Osborn. Like whether it's like you know, I could totally see a scene where like Willem Dafoe is talking to whatever actor plays the new Norman Osborn. And he's like, you know, like, what are you doing? You're wasting your potential. Looking at me, I'm a god, and you're just nothing but this, and you know, like all that kind of stuff. Like, and like, I don't know that he had access to the serum, but I could even see him injecting the other version of him with the serum, and like,
or just giving him his blood.
Yeah, blood transfusion, something.
Well, not even a transfusion, just like a vial. Like, here, study this, figure out the formula, then inject it.
Yeah.
I know you're something of a scientist yourself.
I can't believe you said that. I was like,
I was so happy. I was so happy.
So freaking happy.
You said that. But that would absolutely perfectly set up Norman Osborn to be the hero in Secret Invasion.
Didn't he lead the Dark Avengers?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he gets to be the hero, saved everybody from the evil invading Skrulls, you know, all in quotes, and then gets put in charge of the Avengers and makes the Dark Avengers. I think we got that coming.
I honestly feel like Fisk is going to fill the Norman Osborn. I don't know if our universe even has one, because there's no Harry. There's no best friend. He
said the company's not, like, my company doesn't exist.
Right.
But that's not to say that there's no Norman Osborn.
Yeah. That's why I had that idea. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I could see it. Like, and how much fun would it be if we got like a lineage that led us to like that Norman Osborn leading us to the new Norman Osborn. Yeah. Also, I mean, it'd be a variant, but still the mistrust. Like, what if suddenly the hero of the world is the guy that, you know, a variant of that guy killed Aunt May?
Oh, man.
Right? Like, what if he's like Norman Osborn for president, and then you have this Peter Parker who nobody knows in the world trying to be like, let's not, guys, let's not. And like, nobody, everybody's like, what? He saved us from the Skrulls. He's a wonderful man. Da, 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 da. And like, oh, it's all set up so well.
It really, really is. Yeah. Hey, speaking of vote for a villain, in the advent calendar that I have, I pulled out this pen. It's a vote for Loki pen.
Oh, cool.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm happy about it. Anyway, didn't mean to take us off topic.
We're hitting about an hour. How much do we want to keep going, or do we want to make that the instant reaction? Is there anything else we really need to say right now?
I'm just really happy. My brain's like fried. I'm just overwhelmed, you know?
Yeah, same.
I'm looking forward to going through all the feedbacks and stuff on Monday and really getting into it again.
Yeah, me too.
Are you seeing it tomorrow again?
Yeah.
Lucky.
I'm seeing it Sunday again.
Yeah.
I purchased tickets for the family to go tomorrow because the kids get out of school early on Friday and we can go to the 3:30 showing. But then they didn't do their chores, so their tickets got refunded. So I'm going with Gary instead. So
it's awesome.
It's going to be a big day. And then we're going to come back and play Gloomhaven. So it's going to be a real good day. Best Friday ever.
Ever?
Low bar over there. Low bar.
Well, it's going to be a great Friday.
Well, guys, we will be back on, I guess, Monday with, I don't know. We'll try to figure out when our best time to record this week is, because we have so much to bring you guys this week. I'm sure there'll be tons of last minute Hawkeye feedback and tons of Spider-Man feedback. So get it in. mcucast@gmail.com. Hit us with the feedback, and we will do as much as we can. Thank y'all so much for listening. We'll be back soon. Peace.
Until next time, true believers.
Bye! I'm so happy.
Thank you for joining us for the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. Available everywhere you get podcasts, and now a video version streaming live on twitch.tv/strandedpandatv and available at youtube.com/strandedpanda. And if you'd like to learn more about all of our other podcasts, geeky projects, and ways to support the network, visit strandedpanda.com.